Hey everyone, welcome to Tour Validated. My name is DJ Lantz, and today we have a very special guest, four-time PGA Tour winner, 23rd ranked golfer in the world, and man behind arguably the best Twitter in all of sports, maybe all of humanity, Mr. Max Homa. Welcome to the show.
I haven't had that one before.
Yeah, you never heard about that?
I give it to KD, Kevin Durant. He's the GOAT.
Okay, well, in my eyes, it's you, so
you.
We can disagree on that, but it's you. So today we're going to touch on putting. Putting's been something you've significantly improved in the last year or so, and it's shown in your results. So we're going to get into putting, what you do, and how you got there.
Yeah, obviously putting is unique to everybody. If you look at everybody putt, I mean, there's different styles. You look at Jack Nicklaus, he putt crouched over, super open, high hands, glove on. Then you look at Tiger Woods, who I guess would be the model. It's as like stacked and square as you could possibly get. So it kind of is a comfort thing, whatever makes you comfortable. But what I've found in putting, it needs to be predictable, and you have to eliminate as many variables as you can. So the thing I've been doing since I was a kid, eye line, so making sure my eyes are in the same spot every day, just barely on the inside part of the ball. And then as of late, I've been working a lot on green reading, and the best form of green reading I've found is AimPoint at the moment. I didn't really know how to get better at green reading without it so far, so we've been grinding AimPoint for a while. It takes a lot of practice. You have to like learn how to feel in your feet really well, but it gives clarity. I see things in straight lines, so if someone asks me to read a putt, I'll say 4 inches out or 8 inches out. I can't really, my caddy Joe's really good at building a picture. That's just not how my eyes work, and AimPoint works perfectly for that.
Okay, so understanding kind of how you work specifically is obviously really important, but for people at home who may not know what AimPoint is, what's like the brief kind of overview of what it is? Yeah,
so AimPoint is just using math essentially to build a read. So if you're on a 10-foot putt and you see, you know, a 0.5% of slope, or you feel 0.5% of slope, or if you put a level down when you're on the practice green and you see that there's a exact amount of break you should play on that depending upon the speed of the green. So I understand people at home would struggle to be able to adapt to that all the time, but just the idea that you can use your feet to help build a read. It doesn't all have to be with your eyes. I think it's a bit of a benefit, and it makes practice a lot more, I feel like, productive, and there's a point to it. Whereas if you're just kind of putting, at times it's just, that's all you're really doing. You're not necessarily getting better, but you're hitting a lot of putts.
Right, so this is more structured putting, making sure you're putting with a purpose, and then going through the motions and kind of getting that feel.
Exactly.
So, what are you putting with?
5.5 Phantom, Scotty Cameron.
Okay.
I putted with a blade for so long, and like 3 years ago, I was putting bad, and I decided to try a mallet. I had a big one and this one, and for some reason, this one set up really square to me. It swings really nice. Something about just the flow of it was awesome. So yeah, just kind of dove into the new world of mallets, and now I'm hooked.
A little more MOI, but you're holding a whole lot more putts, so that's always a benefit. So let's get into it. We're gonna watch you hit some putts,
okay,
kind of go through the motions.
Sounds good. Remember, I'm a bit of a novice here for the AimPoint, but the gist of it is this is like a 9-foot putt. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna basically feel in my feet the break, so obviously I'm gonna feel if it's going left or right first. You typically go about 2/3 of the length to the hole, and you have to practice feel. Like this takes work. So I'll go here, I like to look back, I don't know why, for me, I feel it better when I take a little turn. So for this one, I feel very little. I feel probably less than a 0.5% of break.
Okay.
Now, when we're practicing, Joe and I will play a game. I'll put my level down and see how close we were. Okay. If you're within like a 0.5%, you're probably still gonna make the putt. So just trying to make sure I'm putting that reps in, and then I'll put the level down and I'll use what I know to be the break so that I'm not kind of messing up my own lines. And then the trickiest part about this is you have to know the green speed, because they're faster, you gotta pull your hand closer to your face, or slower, you put it away. But for this one, it's a half, so basically I put my knuckle out, I'm gonna guess it's about this far, and then you pick the middle of this knuckle, middle of this finger, so a 0.5%, puts me about just inside the right edge of the hole. Okay. If it was a 1, for instance, it would be about a ball out. Okay. So you could also memorize a chart. That's another way. I'm just not smart enough for that one. So yeah, so then when I get back here, I know, okay, I'm gonna aim this thing basically an inch inside, centimeter inside the right edge. Yep. I use a line, so.
Yep, and that line on the ball is something you've used off and on?
Yeah, I've used off and on. Now that we're doing AimPoint, I feel a lot more confident in my reads. Yep. I'm pretty strictly line. Now I'm very strictly line. I would suggest no line, as I've done before, when you're uncertain. Like no line actually presents a little bit of feel to your game, and you can kind of react a little bit more like a basketball type thing, where it's just a reactive. The toughest art that does not get talked about is lining that ball up to where you actually want to hit it, and then lining your putter up to that line. That takes practice too. So that's easy. You get a string line, a tee, and just make sure that you're doing that, because I see a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm aimed right edge, and I'll like lay down behind them and see that their line's actually aimed like an inch or two off. Like my eyes, you know, it takes practice. So then, yeah, so now I'll get in. I know the read. I'm gonna make sure that I get my line to line good, get my setup, and then it's just like it's basically then just a speed game. Just like that. Just like that. So all this is predicated on the idea that you're gonna hit it 12 inches by. But yeah, so it's pretty simple. Like again, it's math. You should probably read up on it, obviously, if you want to start doing it. There's little things that I'm still learning, you know, downhill putts, because they're faster, it's going to break more, so you have to add a bit of break with your fingers. So I'll sometimes go to 1.5 if I was at a 1. Uphill obviously is the opposite. But man, it's just like it's a certainty thing. Like I feel like at the Wells Fargo was the first week I've really done it full bore, and Sunday I'm nervous, but I felt like I was taking something out. I'm not nervous when I'm standing over the line trying to figure out the feel. I'm like, okay, it's a cup out. Now just hit a good putt. You just take out a little bit of uncertainty.
I mean, that's a variable that I think a lot of people struggle with, myself included, is you might think you have the right line, but in the back of your mind, you're not sure. So just having that commitment level to the line that you're going to hit is like 99%.
You want to hit a good putt.
You want to hit a good putt.
Start with hitting a good putt, and if you're wrong on everything else and it misses, that's okay. But it's the worst when you hit a bad putt, because it immediately has no chance. And this is a perfect example here. This is 9 feet-ish of what you did last week at the Memorial. So you didn't miss a putt inside of 10 feet for the entire Sunday, which is amazing, and you broke the PGA Tour record, 99 putts for an entire tournament. So obviously what you're doing is trending in the right direction, so I would expect good results to follow. Hopefully some big stuff coming for you. That's the plan. If I have 99 putts for every week for the rest of my life, I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, that's 2 rounds of golf for most people. So yeah, you're doing a great job. So we appreciate you coming on, talking about AimPoint. I think some people at home are obviously gonna be very interested about that, improving their putting. So appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
You got it. Thank you.